We go to the education sector. There's a concern doing the rounds in the province of Gauteng in particular. Apparently, there are hundreds of non-fee paying schools across Gauteng who are facing a dilemma of their disconnections from municipal services, particularly with regards to water and electricity, because the Department of Education apparently is saying they should be paying themselves, but they seem to have a different view, at least most of them. So in last year, the department apparently took over the responsibility of paying utility bills for non-fee paying schools, but after failing to keep up with payments and racking up debt of more than 300 million rands, it reversed its decision, apparently. In March, the department apparently issued a directive notifying schools that from the 1st of April, they will be solely responsible for their municipal accounts. And now schools say they're being left to inherit arrears they had no control over, with many receiving disconnection notices for bills that predate the new policy. We did try to get the Department of Education to confirm this news, but we have not been successful. So Charis Pretorius is a spokesperson for the Eldorado Park Schools SGB Forum. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
Well and you, TK. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
it. Is it true, indeed, that this is the issue that some of your schools are facing, at least in Eldos?
Yes, absolutely, Tika. You're looking at arrear accounts between 318,000 to plus minus 3 million. So yes, the department has actually left some of these schools out in the cold, especially when you look at only 25% of the allocation that the department needs to pay to schools has been paid.
So, I mean, how long has this been a problem, at least for some of the schools, and how are they coping?
Well, that's just the thing. The schools are not coping because what do you do? In order for effective teaching and learning to take place, we need to have a conducive environment for those learners as well as for those teachers. So if there is no water, there is no electricity, what happens to how teachers teach? They can't use their smartboard. Kids can't go to the toilet. What are they supposed to be doing? Are we impacting negatively on these children's learning? Absolutely. So the department has basically left these schools and said to them, look, you know what, we've tried, and this is what we are going to do. This is the decision that we've made. And there's been no consultation. There's been nothing in the government gazette either with regards to this decision that has been taken by the Department of Education.
So you guys have not received a notification on the 1st of April or somewhere between the 1st of April and now?
Well, they have sent through a notification, but it is so vague and makes reference to so many other things that the nitty-gritty or the truth of the matter is lost in the fact that it is just so ambiguous as to what it is that they are saying. They've been speaking about it. But if you think about a school who gets 1,700 rand because they're a quintile 4 per child, and then you look at schools who get 3,900 rand per child as a quintile 1, that is the discrepancy and the challenges that we are faced with. Schools are getting 410,000 rand to cover their amenities. But what happens when your amenities and utilities range between 50,000 and 80,000 rand per month just for water? So how do you look at that and say, no, this has been given a lot of thought? I think it's just the case of the Department of Education passing the buck yet again and saying to schools, sink or swim.
So I suppose the next logical question would be, I'm sure you know the song very well, where do we go from here?
But that's exactly it. And the Department of Education is not coming to the table to say, okay, fine, what can we do? How can we pay the arrears? How can we possibly meet you halfway? They haven't even bothered to engage with the city of Johannesburg itself to say, okay, fine, we know that we haven't been paying. What do we do? How can we resolve this matter? And honestly speaking, what has then happened to the money that they were supposed to have been paying over the years is these are the type of arrears that you're looking at.
Municipalities, have you have you engaged them just to make them understand the dilemma that you are going through?
Well, the principals have engaged. They've also spoken to some of the departments within and political heads within the city of Johannesburg to try and quell the fear of the schools. The departments are investigating. The political heads are coming to the ground to actually see what it is that they are dealing with. So we're hoping that from that perspective, we'll get some sort of way forward and also some sort of resolution so that we can ensure that our schools are not negatively impacted on, which in turn negatively impacts on learners and educators alike.
What's the status on fee-paying schools, if there are any in Eldos?
There are, and they are faced with the same challenges because you must remember, you're living in a historically disadvantaged community. There are people that have always been paying school fees, but due to the economic challenges that we face within our city, they might have lost a job or not been able to pay. So the quintile system is something that also needs to be reassessed and reevaluated. And that is something that the Department of Education is veering away from. It has been suggested that we look at that and say, okay, fine, how do we reassess schools? How do we establish what category these schools fall into so that we can better assist them when it comes to the payments that they receive per learner?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this is quite concerning if you ask me, because under normal circumstances, if there is no water in a school, for whatever reason, whether it's maintenance or any other problem, there's just no schooling.
There's just no schooling. And you must remember now our kids are busy writing exams.
Yeah.
How do we impact on that? We have matriculants that are writing their June exams and so on.
So
what
are you saying to us the cutting off has already begun?
Well,
or it's coming?
Those are the threats. And you must remember, if schools didn't pay even the minimum amount of what they needed to pay for those utilities, they have been told that they will be cut off. So what do? We thought about appealing to parents and the community at large to come on board, but also because of the economic challenges that we are faced with, it's a great ask from us as schools in Eldorado Park and surrounding areas. Because
who else are you reaching out to? Have you reached out to political parties?
We have reached out to political parties. I was actually speaking to a specific political party last week at the budget speech, and they said that they're aware of the situation and they are doing their damnedest to try and see how they could possibly assist.
Which party is that? PA?
No, it's not the PA.
DA?
It is. I spoke to Peter Rafferty, who works in the office of the Finance MMC, Margaret Arnold.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, it's very concerning. I hope something positive will come out of this particular situation. And I would like to thank you as well for the time. It's a very concerning story.
It is very concerning, and our children are challenged and our parents are challenged. So thank you for shedding light on this. We hope that, we are now bringing the public up to par with regards to what is happening in our schools. And hopefully someone out there could come up with also another suggestion or solution for us.
Got to. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, TK. Take care.
Thank you so much. She's the spokesperson of Eldorado Park Schools SGB Forum, Charis Pretorius.